A Mortal's Journey to Immortality Episode 319. In the previous episode, Han Li, Marquis Nanlong, and Lu Weiying faced the fearsome ancient flame toad. A beast so powerful that even past masters hesitated to challenge it. Despite their combined attacks, the toad's endless fire attribute light shields made it nearly impossible to defeat. Han Li unleashed his secret move, the Yin Devil Execution, and commanded his puppets. But the toad continued to resist, displaying incredible endurance and ferocity. With precise timing and strategy, Han Li finally summoned his bamboo cloud swarm swords, enhanced with auric essence, and combined them with his ice and lightning abilities. The massive golden sword pierced through the toad's defenses, severing its head and shattering its light shields, demonstrating both his power and cunning. At the end of the previous episode, even with the toad's head and body separated, glowing fragments hovered in the air, hinting that the beast may not be fully defeated. What will happen next? Stay tuned. And the story continues. Two clouds of light extended from the separated pieces of the flame toad as they gradually merged together. Han Li's eyes flickered as he observed the strange phenomenon. The creature's body was showing signs of regeneration, and he could see that it was far from an ordinary demon beast. Marquis Nanlong cried out in alarm, his voice filled with disbelief. Its body is immortal. The flame toad actually possesses such an ability? Lu Weiying, standing beside him, shared the same shock, her expression revealing a mixture of awe and fear. Han Li, however, remained calm, his mind racing. Immortal? He muttered under his breath. There is nothing in this world that is truly immortal. Its vitality is simply far more powerful than common demon beasts. From the ancient records he had read, Han Li understood the concept of an immortal body. He recalled the moment when he had severed the ancient flame toad's arm. Something had felt off. That was why he had shouted for Marquis Nanlong to maintain the barrier, denying the creature the chance to restore itself and escape. A cold smile crossed Han Li's face as he raised his hand once more. Pointing at the flame toad's head, the huge sword he controlled spun once in the air, then split into two before striking down simultaneously at the head and body. A flash of blue light accompanied two sharp bangs, and the flame toad's head and body were instantly encased in layers of frost. The brilliant scarlet lights that had been its essence scattered, leaving only a crimson sphere, the ancient flame toad's demon core. Both Marquis Nanlong and Lu Weiying felt a flicker of temptation at the sight of the demon core. It was the essence of an ancient beast with an immortal body, likely holding mysterious powers beyond their imagination. Yet, the memories of Han Li's earlier displays of overwhelming strength quickly stifled their desire. They both knew that challenging him over an unknown artifact would be foolish, for their chances of success against him would be little more than 50-50. And the risk was far too high. Han Li, though he possessed no mind-reading skills, could easily sense the shift in their thoughts. He realized that neither had fully exerted themselves during the fight against the flame toad, likely counting on him to do the hard work. Remaining calm, he concealed his heightened wariness, careful not to reveal any vulnerability or suspicion. When he saw that both cultivators had regained composure, a quiet relief passed through him. Avoiding unnecessary risk was always preferable. With a wave of his hand, Han Li summoned the demon core into his palm, feeling the cold hardness of the ancient beast's essence. The two large flying swords in the air split into over 10 smaller swords. Disappearing silently into his sleeve, lowering his head, he gazed at the fiery red demon core, releasing a long, controlled sigh. One of his primary objectives in Devilfall Valley had been achieved. Marquis Nanlong smiled and said, "It is fortunate that we had fellow Taoist Han here to slay the ancient flame toad. Let us move into the nest and take a look. Surely Brother Han is also curious about the treasures among the remains." "Of course," Han Li responded, putting away the demon core and nodding in agreement. Lu Weiying's excitement mirrored theirs as they prepared to explore the cave. Han Li considered briefly releasing Silvermoon to retrieve the treasures ahead of the others, but quickly dismissed the idea. Both Marquis Nanlong and Lu Weiying were astute and cunning cultivators, their attention constantly on Han Li, Any attempt to sneak a companion inside could be noticed immediately, creating unnecessary complications. Furthermore, there was something unusual about the cultivator remains. Han Li felt it, though he could not yet identify the exact danger, and decided it was safer to leave the matter as it was. The three cultivators moved with blinding speed, streaks of light merging into the cave. The sight that greeted them was awe-inspiring. Lava flowed in small rivulets along the cave walls, casting a molten glow across the cavern. Their eyes were immediately drawn to a raised stone platform where the remains of an ancient cultivator lay. Positioned with meticulous care, excitement and anticipation filled the air. Marquis Nanlong's expression shifted to seriousness as he said, "It seems these are the remains that Master Kang Kun mentioned. Let us approach them together." Han Li and Lu Weiying nodded without objection, following him closer to the stone platform. Floating a few meters above the remains, Han Li studied the skeleton with keen interest. Both Marquis Nanlong and Lu Weiying released their spiritual senses to probe the remains for treasures. Han Li, wearing a subtle, knowing smile, did not intervene. He sensed that something unusual about the ancient cultivator might surprise them, and it was better for them to experience it themselves. As expected, when the two cultivators submerged their spiritual senses into the remains, a sudden burst of green light repelled their probing, leaving them startled and confused. Lu Weiying exclaimed, "Yi, there is something strange about those robes." Marquis Nanlong, maintaining his composure, explained, "It is merely a gown made from the silk of a green silkworm. Ancient cultivators often used this material to prevent others from probing them with spiritual sense. While rare in modern times, it was common in ancient eras." He summoned the green robes into his hand, revealing the skeleton beneath, still clutching a small black storage pouch at its waist. "A storage pouch." As expected, Lu Weiying exclaimed, her voice full of joy. Marquis Nanlong's excitement was equally visible as he carefully removed the green robes and focused on the black pouch. Han Li's expression subtly shifted as the azure robes fell to the ground, his eyes narrowing with faint concern. He had noticed something peculiar about the remains, though he said nothing, choosing instead to observe the unfolding scene. Marquis Nanlong suggested, "If you two have no objections, may I examine the storage pouch first?" "Of course," Han Li responded calmly, glancing at the pouch. Lu Weiying hesitated briefly before nodding her consent. Stepping forward, Marquis Nanlong carefully inspected the pouch with his spiritual sense. His face stiffened slightly at what he found, prompting Lu Weiying to ask anxiously, "Brother Nanlong, what is inside? Perhaps we should look together." Nodding, Marquis Nanlong poured out the pouch's contents in a flash of white light. The items spilled onto the stone floor, revealing a fascinating array of treasures. Most were glowing scarlet lumps of metal, still scorching hot to the touch. Among them, a few items stood out: a white jade box, a small purple mirror, a delicate yellow sword, a set of green flying needles, and two black medicine bottles. Han Li's eyes narrowed. The treasures, excluding the jade box and medicine bottles, were undoubtedly rare ancient artifacts. Yet it was the jade box and medicine bottles that captured his curiosity. Both had been made from materials that prevented spiritual sensing, and Han Li recognized the uniqueness immediately. He could not see inside them, and the materials appeared only partially refined, as if their creation had been interrupted. Marquis Nanlong mused aloud. "Half finished? Indeed, that seems to be the case. These iron chunks appear to be spirit ores, extraordinary materials that ancient cultivators used to refine powerful treasures. Their creation required rare materials and a large amount of worldly energy. This ancient cultivator must have intended to forge a particularly fearsome fire attribute artifact to accumulate so many of these ores." Han Li recalled the ancient records he had read. Spirit ores were legendary materials for refining ancient treasures. He now confirmed their identity and significance. Lu Weiying, hearing this, was visibly excited, turning her attention to the remaining treasures, the jade box and medicine bottles. Her curiosity piqued. After a moment, Marquis Nanlong handed the storage pouch to Han Li. He caught it instinctively, weighing its contents, then examined them briefly before tossing it to Lu Weiying for her inspection. She confirmed that the contents were as expected, nodding with satisfaction. Finally, Marquis Nanlong addressed the most important matter: the division of the treasures. His voice carried both authority and gravity as he said, "Let us each divide these treasures. How about we have each person select 2 items?" Mentioning the most crucial question of the matter before them, Marquis Nanlong wore a solemn expression. In this episode, we saw Han Li successfully confront and defeat the ancient flame toad. A powerful creature with an immortal body, he skillfully used his flying swords and strategic thinking to destroy the beast and claim its demon core, achieving one of his key objectives in Devilfall Valley. Afterward, he, Marquis Nanlong, and Lu Weiying explored the ancient cultivator's remains, discovering rare treasures, including spirit ores, mysterious half-finished artifacts, and items protected from spiritual sensing. The episode highlighted Han Li's intelligence, caution, and growing awareness of the other cultivators' intentions, setting the stage for future challenges and discoveries. What happens next? Stay tuned for the next episode of Immortal's journey to immortality. If you enjoyed this episode or found it exciting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to get notifications for the latest episodes of Han Li's journey. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.